are, in whatever corner of Ontario you have made home, you are part of a beautiful, vibrant place.
Huge political change for Ontario. A special edition of Humber News, Decision 2018, starts right now.
Hello, I'm Ryan Brockerville, coming to you from the Humber newsroom here in Toronto with our Ontario election special, Decision 2018.
I'm Christina Zisco. Thanks for joining us as we follow key ridings across the GTA, the big winners and the stunning defeats of the 2018 election.
Ontario witnessed a major change of power, and it was a night that ended early for most people, but not everyone.
That's right. Some races went very late, and our Humber News reporters were working hard across the region as the results were announced. We've got a lot to get to, but first, let's take a look at the big picture in terms of the overall numbers. With 124 seats up for grabs, the PCs under Doug Ford won 76 of them. That gives them a majority government and ends nearly 15 years of Liberal power in Ontario. With 40 seats for the NDP, Andrea Horwath now heads the official opposition. It's a big step forward for her party. The Liberals, including Kathleen Wynne, won 7 seats, but that number is one shy of official party status in the legislature. And in a surprise turn of events, the Green Party secured 1 seat. This makes Mike Schreiner the first Green Party candidate ever elected in Ontario.
A big night indeed, Christina. The winds of change swept across the province. Doug Ford has been elected the 26th Premier of Ontario. Taking power from the Liberals, Ford was all smiles at his roaring campaign celebration in the riding of Etobicoke North, and Celeste DeCare was there for Humber News.
Doug Ford wasted no time saying he was going to fulfill his platform promises as Ontario's new Premier.
We will deliver on our plan for the people. We will bring accountability, transparency, and integrity to the taxpayers of Ontario. We will reduce your taxes.
His Director of Communications, Melissa Landsman, backed the PC leader and was happy with how the campaign went leading up to the election night.
I think we've had a very positive campaign. Ontarians are overwhelmingly have told us that they want change. And I think that Doug Ford has brought that message of change to Ontario, and I hope that we're victorious tonight.
So, having a little bit more of an inside scoop than most people, how do you think that he's going to perform as a leader of Ontario as a Premier if he's to win?
Look, I think that after 15 years of Liberal waste, mismanagement, and scandal, it is not a high bar. That said, I think he will make a great leader.
It was a commanding victory by Doug Ford and the PCs, given their party finished third back in the 2014 election behind the NDP and the Liberals. Etobicoke North has been held by Liberal MPP Shafiq Qaudry since 2003, but with the collapse of the party, many voters turned to the Progressive Conservatives for change. Despite a series of public scandals, including a lawsuit against Doug Ford by his sister-in-law 3 days before Election Day, Ford Nation remained loyal, giving the new Premier a triumphant win in his home riding. Why Doug Ford and not any other party, NDP or Liberal?
Sure. Well, I mean, ideologically, certainly the Conservatives are the most focused on having a balanced budget as well as having positive economic policies to make sure that we have continued economic growth, and that's certainly why.
Ford Nation celebrated the new Premier's win as they look forward to the changes he says he will bring for the people of Ontario.
Really great, really great. I love it. This is exactly what we wanted. I mean, Catherine Winner turned the province upside down, and we're glad Doug Ford is in to do some repair.
What are you looking forward to most about his platform?
I'm looking forward to him. I'm looking out for the small people.
As confetti rained down on the PC supporters, the new Ontario Premier, Doug Ford, thanked the crowd with his family by his side.
Humber News, Celeste DeCare.
The NDP, led by Andrea Horwath, also had a pretty good night. They became the official opposition, winning 40 seats, the most seats for the party since 1990. Horwath supporters gathered for a night of celebration. Damien Alley has more from the riding of Hamilton Centre.
As the raucous sounds of cheers deafened the Hamilton Convention Centre, NDP supporters have gathered together in support of Andrea Horwath. Although unsuccessful in her bid for Premier, Horwath was easily re-elected in her Hamilton Centre riding, which she held since 2004.
My friends, from the very start of this campaign, people wanted change. And I could not be more proud that we offered a positive vision. Change for the
Even with a surprisingly early progressive conservative majority government win, NDP spirits remain high as the party's seat count was doubled to 40 from 2014's provincial election. The energy and high spirits of Andrea Horwath's supporters would not dampen, even in spite of a Doug Ford election win.
It's good. It's good. At least the Hamilton has chosen the right people to put in the Queen's Park. We're happy for Hamilton results at least. Not what we expected, but it's definitely giving you a boost for the next time, for sure, yes.
A consistent theme of the night was optimism. Initial feelings of dismay and fear were rapidly overcome, and from that point forward, it quickly became clear that it was hope and not fear that was the way forward, as the NDP became official opposition at Queen's Park to challenge Doug Ford's progressive conservatives for the next 4 years.
But you listen to Mr. Ford and you think, I wouldn't vote for this guy if he was a social convener in a high school. I just don't understand. Honestly, as a born and raised Hamiltonian and Ontarian and Canadian, I do not understand remotely how he could be registering potentially to become the next premier of this province.
Although it wasn't the end result that NDP supporters wanted, the unshakable energy and confidence that Andrea Horwath plans to bring to Queen's Park is undeniable, and so her supporters have lent her their full and unconditional support. Damien Ali, Humber News.
The election ended in a stunning defeat for the Liberals. They lost power and even lost party status in the legislature, winning only 7 seats. It was the worst electoral result for the party since its creation. Kathleen Wynne announced her resignation in an emotional concession speech in Don Valley West. Norma Zminkowska was there.
For Kathleen Wynne's supporters, it was never going to be an easy night, and it wasn't. Polls had predicted the Liberals would lose power, but the crowd in the York Mills Gallery was upbeat, cheering as Wynne took the stage. But the room went quiet when she stepped down as party leader.
I am resigning as the leader of the Ontario Liberal Party. I know. We're not. Gonna cry.
After 5 years as Premier, the 65-year-old Wynne said it was time to make room for others to move the Liberals ahead.
There is another generation, and I am passing the torch to that generation. So although I've lost this election tonight, I have not in any way lost my passion for continuing this work, continuing to find ways to make it all work better. And as the song says, and I'm going to paraphrase, we're still standing.
Many praised Wynne for all that she's done for the province.
Kathleen Wynne did so many things in the last few years with her policies, and I would really have loved it for her to continue on and finish what she started. And she's not going to have a chance to finish what she started. Not only that, some of her policies are going to be cut. And that really does make me sad. And I'm a lot sadder than I thought I would be, so.
Others wondered if electing a Ford government was the right way to go.
Why do people hate her? They just want change. Change for what? Change for Doug Ford? Let's see how the next 4 years goes out, but is that change really worth it, Ontario? We'll have to see.
It's been a pretty emotional night here in Don Valley West. Lots of people leaving in tears as Kathleen Wynne resigned as party leader. And the party lost about 60 seats, leaving them 1 seat short of party status. But moods weren't entirely dampened as Kathleen Wynne won her riding here in Don Valley in a close race with PCs, leaving the voters pretty optimistic for the future. I'm Norma Zminkowska for Humber News.
In a historic turn of events, The Green Party secured 1 seat in the Ontario legislature. This makes Mike Schreiner the first Green Party candidate to win a seat in an Ontario election. In Guelph, he won 45% of the vote against PC candidate Ray Ferraro at just under 22%.
Tonight is the end of one chapter for me and the beginning of another. For Guelph, for the Green Party, for Ontario. I'm ready to take my seat at Queen's Park.
Schreiner has been the party leader for the past 9 years. Guelph is a city with startups for green technology, water protection, and renewable energy, which made it the spot to go green.
When we come back after a quick break, we'll look at several key races.